Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm in the office today, so I want to take a chance to talk to you about how to build a tree job. So if you're a young guy starting out and you're not, you really don't know how to do it, or you're looking to get into it like I did. I got into it by accident. I started grinding stumps, and people would just ask me, do you do trees also? Then one thing led to another. I got a trailer and a truck, and cutting it up, loading the wood on a trailer and a truck, and then I bought a chipper and then a bucket truck and bigger stump grinder. And I started out with a 252 stump grinder and ended up with a Rayco and 2 chippers and a chipper truck and a bucket truck and a couple of trailers and all that. So you start out with one thing, but you end up with another thing. So you never know how it's going to go in life, how it's going to work out. So with that being said, I want to show you how to build a tree job. For instance, like you got this tree right here, and a lady calls you and say, "Hey, I got a tree up against the house, or beside the house, or whatever." So the first thing you do when you get there, what I do is usually I ask the people, where's the septic tank at? Oh yeah, well the septic tank is right over here. Alright, where's your irrigation at? Oh, it's right here. It's right here, right here, right here. Oh, okay. Where's your power line? Well, it goes in on the other side of the tree. Oh man, is there a fence? Easy to get to. Yeah, there's a double gate right here. You can back your truck in right here and start hauling in. So now you got that figured out. So, but when you go to bid the job, one of the biggest factors is this right here, time. You want to figure out how long, once you get this narrowed down, you got it whooped. But that's your biggest factor right there. All right. Then the second factor is cost. Third factor is labor. Material is number 4. So you got all 3 or 4 of them added in there with it. Usually the material ain't too bad. Like chainsaw gas, gas in the chipper, gas in the trucks, chainsaw oil, stuff like that, chains. So you're not looking at very much. I mean, if you got a truck, a big truck, you're looking maybe, I don't know, maybe anywhere from $90 to $130 to fill it up. That's in my area where gas is usually, before here lately, used to be $1.75 a gallon. Now it's getting up to $3. It's $3 and something a gallon. So it's a lot higher and more expensive. So with that being said, yeah, it's a big factor. So by the time you do chainsaws, your stump grinder, you got all the equipment. So then the other thing you're coming down to is your labor. When you bid the job, you want to know how many guys do you need? Well, do you need 1 climber and 2 groundmen? I mean, what do you need? Are you going to have to drag all this brush out to the front of the yard? Or can you back it through the double gate, the chipper right there close to it? You can just start chipping it up. So, but it all goes back to this right here, your time. This is your key. Once you get this, you got it whooped. I used to have it used to be me and 2 guys, and we used to knock out a tree. We'd start at 8 o'clock, and most general days, if it wasn't a gigantic, I mean, when I say gigantic, I mean probably 4 foot and above, bigger, and it wasn't a lot of roping it down, or it's just right there easy. It used to be we'd be done by 1 o'clock. That's cut, haul everything off. It used to be the guy. So if you got a good guy that is a climber, and the guy is a great climber, he's real good. I mean, he knows his stuff. You ain't got to dilly-dally. He don't want to sit there and talk to you for 2 hours. about his problems, what happened over the weekend, and you know, his wife's in jail. He bonded out. I mean, he smacked her around this weekend. I mean, all the, you know, all the mama drama. But if you got a guy that shows up, throws his spurs on, throws his rope in the tree, and he's at it, you'll knock it out. I say precise. Everybody has a job. Everybody knows what to do. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for that magical unicorn. It's hard to get. But everybody knows their position. Everybody does it routine enough, and nobody has to yell down for a rope or tie this on or this, that. That guy on the ground is watching this guy, and everybody's working with everybody. Everybody's working together. That's what you're looking for. All right, so now you want to figure out the cost. So just everybody has a different what they have to make a day. You may have payments on stuff. You may have a truck payment, car payment. You have a lot of payments. So you need to find out what your monthly payments is. And then after you find out, this is what I got to have. Okay? This is what I got to have. And then you factor in your labor. Usually runs, just hypothetical, just throwing out a number. A guy anywhere from $150 to $200 a day for a groundman. So if you got two of them, just say $400. And then you got a guy climbing, just say anywhere from, back in the day when I started, it used to be $200 to $300. So if you got a guy back in the day, say 2008, 2000, now you're up to $300. So you got to have a minimum. So now, for instance, so if you got, your labor is $700, you do $700 for your labor, right? This is before you're getting paid. So then you got the material, the gas, the oil, the chainsaws. So just say that's an extra anywhere from $175 to $500. Say $175 to $500. All right, give or take. That's not, the $500 is not every day that you fill up, okay? Like for instance, on my truck, I can fill that big truck up, the bucket truck, for $125 and it'll last 3 days. Okay? So I don't need to factor in that big gas every day on that bucket truck, And then you got the oil, the chipper and stuff. So usually a tank of gas on a chipper will last you 2 days. 2 days, because you're only running the chipper maybe 2 or 3 hours. If it's not a real huge job, you're only running it 2 or 3 hours. So now you're at maybe $60 to $80 for the chipper. And then you got the chains, chain on them, and then the gas and the fuel. So if you run all that. So I used to, when I started out, with all that being said, my minimum job would be anywhere from, cost-wise, would be anywhere from $1,500 to $1,800 a day. Okay? So by the time you add that up, and when I started out, I wanted to make at least $800 to $1,000 a day profit. So, you have to run the numbers. It adjusts. Every day is different. Every day is different. You might one day do a $3,200 job, and then the next day you might do a $4,500 job, and then the next day you might do, two $1,800 jobs. or you say a $900 at this house, and then you go over, you load up and you go do another job. So you do $1,800 in a day. So, and that don't even count, you know, the insurance and stuff like that. So the insurance ain't that bad. So say you're spending $2,000 a year on liability insurance, and then you got workman's comp and stuff like that. So, but so you factor that in and you divide that by 12, and you add that. So that's how you can, you know, rough idea. I mean, just a rough idea. It's not like to the exact numbers, and we, you know, because I could, you know, when you're running two guys, like I said, I just ran a guy, two guys. Maybe one guy, we use one guy that day. I just need one guy. I don't need two guys. I just need one guy. Because, you know, say you had them two guys out there. Well, the next day, he puts them on the ground. And then you can go over there with your skid steer, me be by myself, and I can clean up the job with a skid steer. So it just gives you a general idea, an idea of how you price one. You know, how you, and you all, when you're looking at a job, I'm looking at them and I'm running the numbers in my head. You know, I need to make $1,800. I need to make $2,000 for the day. I need to make a certain amount for this job. You know, hands down. And you can look. I know guys that look at people's, and I don't go along with that all the time because that's crap, but I know people that look at they go bid a job over here for $5,000 just because of the neighborhood. So you have to be kind of wary. You don't want to, when you're bidding one, you want to know what your competition, if you get in it long enough, you'll understand what the competition is bidding like. You'll understand when they throw out a name of another tree service or another person, you'll understand they usually bid higher than me, or they'll bid lower than me, or they'll bid this way. But it really don't matter. When it comes down to it, is what your expenses. You're not bidding against, you know, you're bidding against me, but you're not bidding against me. You're bidding against what you have. I might have a chipper, a skid steer, or this or that, or you might have a crane or another piece of equipment that you can be more efficient at the job than me. Or you have a better climber, or you have a better grounds guy, or you have this or that. So, you know, everything plays a part, you know, when you're looking at it. So when I go look at this tree right here, how I would do, when I started out, I would have, you know, how I'd make it even, sort of say. I had a truck and a trailer. Well, I had over 400 contacts in my phone that wanted wood chips and they wanted wood. So I would roll up and I'd say, man, this is pecan right here. Well, this is cherry, this is oak, this is hickory, this is ash. These are good hardwoods. I know somebody that'll take that right there. So I'd pick up the phone and say, hey, are you available today or tomorrow? I got a nice log. I got a nice tree we're taking down. Would you show up with your truck and a trailer? So that would cut down on labor. It would cut down on cost. Because and it would cut down, you know, on fuel. You ain't running your chipper as long. You ain't hauling it. Somebody's coming and getting the wood. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could be. And I know people that wouldn't even do that. They say, oh, I'll just stop doing that. I'll tell you, I can't tell you the hundreds of jobs where I went and cut a tree and I never moved a lick of wood. Never moved a lick. People was lined up. Especially in the wintertime. Especially in the winter. Never moved a lick. And these were good, honest people. They was, you know, a lot of people was selling the wood. A lot of people was church members. They'd split up the wood, donate it to people. They was good, reliable people, and I didn't have a problem with I was needing to get into it. I mean, I needed to save money, and I ran my ads on Craigslist, Facebook, you name it. I mean, I had free wood chips, free everything. So that helped out on the cost and on labor sometimes. You have to watch about it because, some people, you don't want them to bring a chainsaw to your job and cut up if they get hurt or whatever. So we would load it up for you or this or that. So I had a bunch of guys that had trailers, and they wanted logs and this or that, and that's what I would do. In where I live at, there's a guy that has a loader. He's done figured it out, buddy. And all these guys that don't have no equipment, they're really using this guy. He has a big Asplin loader, a big loader. He charges $350 to $400 a load for the tree. So they would pay this guy. They would cut the tree down. They'd pile it in the ditch. They call him for $400. He hauls the whole tree off. They bid the job for $1,500 to $1,800 for the tree. This guy climbing, all he did was drop the tree, cut it up. He might have brought a dingo, a skid steer, whatever. Throws it in the ditch. And that guy comes by for $300, $400 and loads it up. I mean, or he charges $2,000 and he piles. I mean, it's a win-win situation for both people. So that guy's new to the game, and he don't have no equipment. So if you're new to the game, just some ideas. I mean, they're not written in stone and all that, all that good stuff. These are just general ideas. This is what has worked for me for since 2005, 2008. But hey guys, if you like the video, hit the like button and the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.